You don't think about returns when you buy. The page loads quickly, the button is bright, the checkout feels smooth. One click, maybe two. The order is confirmed. A small sense of relief settles in, like something is done and out of the way. Days later, the box arrives. You open it carefully. The product looks right at first. Then you notice something small. The size is off. The material feels thinner than expected. The color isn't quite what the photo suggested. Not wrong enough to panic, just wrong enough to hesitate. You tell yourself it's fine. You set it aside. Hours pass. Then a day. Eventually, you decide to return it. That's when the experience changes. You go back to the site. You look for the return option. It's there, but not where you expected. You click once, then again. A new page loads. It asks you to confirm the reason, then to confirm the condition, then to confirm the packaging. Each step feels small. None of them feel unreasonable, but together they slow you down. You glance at the clock. You were going to do this quickly. Now you're already spending more time than you planned. You think about the box. Where did you put it? Did you throw out the insert? Is the label still inside? Nothing has stopped you yet, but nothing is helping you either. The purchase felt instant. The return feels like work. At no point does the system say no. It doesn't deny your refund. It doesn't accuse you of misuse. It doesn't even push back directly. Instead, it adds steps. One more confirmation, one more screen, one more instruction that requires you to pause, reread, and decide. Print the label, or use a QR code. Drop it off here, not there. Make sure the item is unused. Make sure the packaging is intact. Make sure the window hasn't closed. Make sure you follow the timeline exactly. Each instruction is technically fair. Each one can be explained. None of them feel like a trap on their own. But the process stretches. You start to feel the effort rising, not dramatically, just enough to notice. You're standing now, not sitting. You're looking for tape. You're thinking about when you can get to the drop-off point. You're wondering if today is even worth it. The refund amount sits in your mind. It's not huge. It's not nothing either. It's somewhere in between. Enough to justify returning. Not enough to justify rearranging your day. This is where the decision quietly shifts. Not from, can I return this? But from, is this still worth returning? The system hasn't blocked you. It has simply made continuing less attractive than stopping. Many returns don't fail. They're abandoned. The label gets generated, but never printed. The box gets repacked, but never dropped off. The deadline approaches quietly, then passes. Nothing dramatic happens when that window closes. There's no alert that feels urgent enough. No warning that says this is your last chance, in a way that cuts through everything else in your day. Life fills the gap. Work, messages, other purchases, other responsibilities. The return becomes background noise. Then it disappears. Weeks later, you notice the item again. Still unused, still sitting there. The thought crosses your mind briefly. Then you remember the steps, the printing, the drop-off, the time. You leave it where it is. At this point, the money is already gone, not taken, not charged again, just never recovered. From the outside, it looks like a choice. From the inside, it feels like fatigue. This doesn't happen once. It happens repeatedly. Small amounts, different products, different platforms. Each time, the loss feels minor enough to ignore. Each time, the effort feels slightly higher than you want to spend. Over time, those small decisions accumulate, not as a visible charge, not as a clear fee, but as money that could have come back and didn't. The buying experience trains you to move quickly. The return experience trains you to slow down. That contrast isn't accidental. It doesn't rely on denial or confrontation. It relies on patience wearing thin, on attention drifting, on the quiet reality that many people will stop halfway if stopping is easier than continuing. Nothing is stolen, nothing is refused. Yet money still changes hands and stays there. The return process doesn't need to defeat you. It only needs to wait you out. It assumes something simple, that your attention is limited, your time is fragmented, and your motivation fades faster than policies expire. The system isn't built around confrontation, it's built around endurance. Buying captures attention in a single moment. Returning competes with everything else in your life. Each step asks for a little more effort than the last. Not enough to trigger anger, just enough to introduce doubt. Doubt about whether you'll finish today. Doubt about whether tomorrow will be easier. Doubt about whether this is the best use of your energy right now. The clock keeps moving, but quietly. The window stays open, but passively. Nothing pulls you back in. There is no urgency designed to help you recover your money. There is only the option to proceed, if you remember, if you care enough, if nothing else interferes. Most things interfere. In retail systems, there's a word for this. Not spoken to customers. Not advertised. Breakage. It describes money that is technically refundable, but practically never returned. Not because the rules were violated, not because the claim was denied, but because the process outlasted the person. From the system's perspective, this isn't failure, it's a margin. Each abandoned return is small, individually forgettable, but at scale, predictable, countable, built into forecasts, built into expectations. The system doesn't need every return to fail. It only needs enough of them to quietly disappear. No one feels cheated enough to complain. No one loses enough to escalate. No single moment triggers resistance. The loss spreads thin, across time and across people. That's what makes it stable. Over time, something else happens. You adjust. You start hesitating before buying things you might return. Not because the product is worse, but because the exit feels costly in effort. You lower expectations. You tolerate small mismatches. You keep items that are almost right. The friction reshapes behavior. Returns stop feeling like a right you exercise. They start feeling like a task you avoid. When refunds take weeks, when tracking updates stall, when confirmation emails blur together, the delay itself becomes part of the experience. Waiting feels standard. Losing track feels normal. The system hasn't changed the rules. It has changed what you expect from them. And once expectations shift, fewer people push back. Buying and returning exist on opposite sides of the same transaction, but they are not designed with equal care. One side is optimized for speed, ease, and completion. The other is optimized for delay, friction, and drop-off. This imbalance doesn't need secrecy to survive. It only needs repetition. Each time you stop halfway, each time you miss the window, each time the effort outweighs the refund, the money doesn't leave dramatically, it just doesn't come back. And over time, that becomes part of how the system works.